Well, you know, first of all, awareness is that by which we know everything, and awareness is totally relaxed. It's always totally relaxed, just like sky. If we look up in sky, there sky is. It's totally relaxed. And awareness is like that. It's sky-like. It doesn't need to be held or kept in place. It simply is. And whatever appears in awareness has no substance. It's just like sky, sky-like awareness. Whatever appears within it has no substance. So the color blue is inseparable from the sky, but that actually has no substance whatsoever. And whether it's dark blue or light blue, it's uninterrupted. It never undergoes any transition or change. It's a seamless expanse. So this is the case with our awareness as well. And this relaxed awareness has never been anything other than that. So it's never been conditioned into something other than that. That's never occurred. Awareness is always wide open and spacious, wide open and free. If we learn that it isn't, it just means that that's what we've learned. We've learned that what appears in our awareness, the thoughts, the emotions, the experiences, we've just learned something other than that, but it doesn't mean that that's the way it is. So when we hear something else about ourselves, that we have an awareness that is that by which we're looking at everything, that by which we're seeing, whether we're looking with our eyes or we're seeing in dreams, or hearing with our ears or hearing in dreams. The looking and the hearing are awareness alone. That's all they are. They can't really be traced to any kind of a sense organ. So you see, it's the choice of a human being, and we don't know why this is. Let's just keep it simple. We really don't know why it is. There are a lot of things that are postulated about why it is, so many ideas about why it is, but what we can really say is we don't know why it is. We really don't know why it is, and we don't know how it is. We just know it is. And we know that by which we know everything is awareness. And so what it boils down to is that we have a choice of how we use this awareness. We can use the awareness to learn to take ourselves to be somebody, and we can learn that all of the appearances within awareness are oh so important, and they have a meaning and significance in their own right, and then we can create a whole life out of that, all via awareness. Whatever our experience of living is the experience we create via our awareness. So if we have a life where we're experiencing a lot of painful thoughts, painful emotions, and then blaming those painful thoughts and emotions on something, oh, I have this thought because of this thing that happened yesterday or a few minutes ago or when I was a child or whatever it is, or I have these emotions, the same thing, I have these emotions because of this or that, because something in the past, something happening now, or something I'm afraid might happen in the future. This is just the way we've chosen to use our awareness to describe the world in which we live and to describe our own being. But all I'm saying here is that that's only one way of using awareness. There's only one other way to use awareness, and that's to just let it relax in its natural state no matter what appears. No matter what appears in awareness, it's like the appearance of blue in the sky. The blue can't be turned on and off, and it's inseparable from the sky. It's a seamless, spacious expanse of non-difference. And no matter whether it's a night sky, the dark blue of a night sky, or the daytime sky of a totally bright sky, it's all wide open and free, completely relaxed, just like our awareness. And so when we describe our thoughts and emotions as being something in particular, then that's simply what we realize in our life. We realize a life of conflict and turmoil, and sometimes happiness, but always hope that there'll be more happiness and less suffering. And always when we get to a moment of happiness, then feeling, oh wow, I'm happy. This is it. I'm going to be this way forever. Finally I found it. Hooray. But then boom, something happens. Something we describe as negative appears within the ground of awareness, within the field of awareness. We take it to be real. We take it to have an identity in its own right. And then we're off with the story about what's appearing, some kind of story to give this negative appearance some kind of substance or meaning. But no matter what appears, whether it's negative, positive, or neutral, it's all like a mirage or like a hologram. It's nothing but space, just like awareness is aware, pure space. So anything that appears within awareness is aware, pure space. And when we first begin to learn about this, the relaxed nature of our own awareness, then it's important to be introduced to that awareness somehow. Often that comes through being with a teacher, or sometimes it comes about in some other way. But when we're introduced to awareness, then it's important to know that that introduction alone really tells us what awareness is. Just that one moment of instantaneous awareness, and whatever is appearing as flawless and completely perceptually open, that's what relaxed awareness always is. It doesn't differentiate. It doesn't differentiate due to appearances. Within awareness, there is no differentiation. There is no difference whatsoever. And we can't really understand that through thinking about it. We can only come to realize it through our own experience of awareness. And how is that? Well, when an appearance comes about, then we just relax. And as we relax, we notice that that appearance comes from that relaxed awareness, and it also resolves in that relaxed awareness. And the coming and the resolution are both relaxed awareness too. So there's really nothing to be said about it. And usually in the beginning, when people begin to enjoy relaxed awareness, then it's easy to do that with positive things. Much easier to do it with positive things than with negative things. Now, for me, exactly the opposite was the case, and for others, this is true as well. For me, it was much easier to relax with the negative things because I was in a great deal of pain. I didn't want to be in pain anymore. I had realized that awareness was the underlying basis of all the pain, confusion, my intellectual and emotional trials and tribulations, no matter what they were, that awareness was the root of those. So I really wanted very much to get out of the desperate state I was in terms of my thoughts and emotions. So I didn't like that, and then I was willing to go to any lengths to relax this awareness. No matter what appeared, I just rested, and as I did so, you see, it was self-affirming, it was self-kept. It was beyond thinking about it. I saw very quickly that thinking about it got absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. It just got into more thinking about it, more perpetuating of a story that had never existed. So, and believe me, I had plenty of stories. Any stories you might have, we can have a contest someday. We'll see whose stories are the worst stories. whose stories are the more painful stories. You know, whatever these stories are, they do not have an independent nature. They're uncreated and unborn. Just like sky is uncreated and unborn, so too awareness is uncreated and unborn. Then anything that appears within awareness is uncreated and unborn. And how do we know that? Well, we either know it very suddenly all at once, or we make progress gradually, so to speak. For most, progress is made gradually. And that is such a simple matter. It all occurs within the naturalness of our own being. As something appears, we rest as awareness for short moments, repeated many times until it becomes automatic. Freedom and immediate perception in the direct encounter with the perception when it appears in awareness, to just not go into the story, not drift into the story about how it came about, why it came about, when it came about, where it came about. Oh. Just to rest, to totally rest, and allow everything to be as it is, no matter what it is. And when we become familiar with that, then we open ourselves up to wisdom. Instead of thinking about everything, there's just the wide open spaciousness of wisdom, in which no matter what appears, there's nothing to be said about it. That's not information that we rely on anymore. When we're relying on whatever appears within awareness, we see it as information that we can depend upon. Oh, I have this thought, it's an important thought. I have this emotion, it's an important emotion. And so I'm going to take these thoughts and emotions and I'm going to prove that they exist as something by bringing in some other thoughts and emotions to prove that the first two existed in their own right. So you see, it's just really simply a choice. And very often I find people, just through hearing about the nature of their mind, either the first time or repeatedly, the conviction dawns without even resting as awareness. Our awareness already is relaxed, so it doesn't need any nudging. It doesn't need any tickling to make it come about. It doesn't need any hammering over the head either. It doesn't need any approach whatsoever. It already is, so it doesn't need any tricks or gimmicks. And there's never been anything in the way of it. There's never been someone who has made awareness not happen. Awareness just simply is, and there's no need to know anything about it, and there's no need to make up any stories about awareness either, like whether it continues down through lifetimes or not. There's no need to make up stories like that. Any story is just a story, and all stories are equal in that they lack an independent nature. They're like a mirage or hologram. So if we believe that there's some kind of law within awareness that can somehow alter awareness or make us unfit to be aware, if we just rest as awareness, then we can examine those laws and see what's really so about them. Everyone's already aware, and all awareness is stainless. It's absolutely stainless. It's always been that way. It's never had a mark of any kind. So stories about the continuum of the mind from one lifetime to another, well, there's nothing to say about that, and really. Just rest as awareness and then examine everything that appears as awareness. There's never been anyone predestined, undestined, or redestined by any thought or any appearance. So, you know, this is really just an idea, that's all it is. It's a concept. But it like any other concept, point of view, or thought, it has no independent nature. It has no independent nature whatsoever. If we want to know about ourselves as human beings, then we have to know ourselves as the flawless knower. And the flawless knower is awareness. Flawless awareness is knowing everything. And that is the only law. Flawless knowing is the sole cause and the sole effect. So why make up anything else? That's enough.